Ringside Report.
Hey, this is Cain Velasquez, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio.
This is Chuck Tweedale, and you're listening to the Ringside Report.
Hi, he's Wanderlei the ex-Murder Silva, and you're listening Ringside Report Radio.
This is Tito Ortiz, the People's Champ, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio.
This is Uriah Faber, the California Kid, and you're listening to the Ringside Report.
This is Randy, the Natural Couture, and you're listening to the Ringside Report.
Hi, this is Vitor Belfort, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio.
This is Chael Sonnen, and you are listening to Ringside Report Radio.
This is Jacques St-Pierre, and welcome to Ringside Report Radio.
Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hey.
Radio, we're on. Welcome to the show. I'm Dave Simon. Fred Garcia's here. AJ D'Alesio is here.
Right on, brother.
We're here every Friday night talking MMA. We've got some MMA to talk about. Bellator is happening tomorrow. Are you guys aware? You guys aware Bellator is happening in a couple hours from now? There's like a Bellator card tonight. And then a Bellator card tomorrow. AJ, obviously you're not aware, right?
I was aware, but I wasn't. It's not that it was standing out.
Here's AJ lying again.
No. I remember that there was some fight for Bellator, but I just didn't.
Just name us one fight. Just one.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know, guys.
So you don't know?
No, but are we able to watch it tonight? Is it like we got to find like some stream channel? Like what's happening tonight?
Well, isn't it great that you have this show to inform you, AJ?
Thank you. That's why I come here.
So that's why you
here
come here.
For hearing the bad technology.
Uh-huh.
And the bad headphones. Yeah. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm having issues.
Can you hear anything, Fred?
I hear, but it goes from one to mono to stereo, like by itself. I'm not sure why.
Well, hopefully your microphone is hanging in there. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Or is it the bad bag of Doritos that you ate before? Okay. Let's give you that effect.
So Bellator tonight is going to be on Paramount at 9. Matt Mitrione and Sergey Karatanov is the main event. And then tomorrow you have quarterfinals of that welterweight tournament that they're doing, right? They're doing a 170-pound tournament. Michael Venom Page is fighting Paul Daly in the main event tomorrow. Both these cards going down in Connecticut.
That should be good.
Uncasville, Connecticut. Czech Congo is fighting Vitaly Minikov tomorrow. And Roy Nelson, get this, guys. AJ, you're going to be excited.
Tell me.
He's fighting Mirko Krokop.
Really?
Krokop is fighting Big Country tomorrow for Bellator.
So then we'll
How
be
about
watching
that on your Saturday night?
That's excellent. But I'm surprised that Krokop is back. I thought he was going to be retired.
Have you seen him?
Well,
yeah.
Have you seen the pictures?
Yeah, I've seen him, and the first thing that came to mind wasn't Scott Coker critical of the whole John Jones situation, and he's giving us a Mirko Krokop who's looking jacked, to say the least.
Look, Krokop looks... I don't think jacked is the appropriate term. He's like jacked, super jacked, like gigantic jacked. He looks insane. And apparently they've been drug tested and even randomly drug tested leading into this fight.
Yeah, but
I am skeptical about that one.
But Dave, the only thing on Bellator, Turinabol is not part of their banned substances.
Is that a factor?
That is a fact.
Is that an AJ factor?
No,
or
it's
a
a fact. Turinabol is not on the banned list. That's why Vitor was saying, Belfort was saying, I want to go and fight in Bellator.
I think it also has to do with the TRT.
Are you saying Turinabol or testosterone replacement therapy? I feel like you're getting confused.
No, Turinabol and TRT.
But Turinabol is like a steroid.
Listen, man.
Are you sure?
100%. Listen, if you're telling me that Krokop looks like he did back in his early 30s or 20s,
no.
I'm telling you.
No, he looks better.
That's what I'm saying. You can't get better without that.
What we need to know is who's the commission tomorrow, because this thing is happening, I see, at the Mohegan Sun.
Yeah.
Is there a legit commission because as far as all the commissions, Turinabol is not legal. Those are the ones that penalize John Jones and Frank Mir and all that. So.
And I just want to put a disclaimer. AJ saying that Turinabol is legal in Bellator
legal.
Is not the feelings of Fred or me or Ringside Report Radio
or
TSN 690, because I don't think it's a fact.
Look it up. I mean, even Anderson Silva was saying that when he said, listen.
No, he was talking about testosterone replacement therapy. That's not Turinabol. Those are two different things.
Well, listen,
which is it, AJ?
Either, it doesn't matter. Let's just
No, it does matter.
Let's just say.
No, it does matter.
Okay, let's just say TRT.
AJ, just admit you were wrong, okay?
No, but listen, let's just say TRT is allowed, I don't give a crap. I'll take either or.
So
if that'll make me a better
steroids, TRT,
it's
horse meat, whatever, you're taking it
for sure. If I'm allowed, what is it going to do? What is it going to do? It's just going to help you like recover quicker. It's not going to make you a better fighter.
Aren't you the guy that puts everything that John Jones does?
Exactly. Because listen, if I'm in a circuit,
what do you mean exactly?
Look,
you're the biggest critic of John Jones.
I am.
And he had traces of Turinabol so small that the state of Nevada, the state of California, the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, the UFC, and the Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency all said that he was eligible to compete. You said, no, he's a cheater. Now you're the same guy who's coming here and saying, hey, Turinabol, testosterone,
let me defend myself
whatever.
on this. Let me defend myself.
Let's make it a free-for-all. Let's all do it. John Jones is the worst guy.
No,
Krokop can do it.
Listen.
Roy Nelson can do it. Vito Belfort, where it's Vitor, by the way. I know that you're trying to make him one of your guys, Vito Belfort, but
he's my boy, man.
It's Vitor. And you can't say that they're allowed steroids, but John Jones is the worst for having tiny amounts in his system.
Dave, you should have been a lawyer in the States, man. You know how to, like, twist things.
I should have. I really should have. I'm wasted on this.
Hey,
he would be making a better living.
If the glove don't fit, let him quit. Listen, this is what it comes down to. If I'm going to be in a circuit where everybody has to be on fair ground and there's no substances allowed in that sport like the UFC, then everybody should be fair. And that's my beef. So if I'm not allowed to take it and this guy's taking it, he'll have an edge. But in Bellator, if Turinabol or TRT is allowed and everybody else is on the same playing field, then I'll be fine to take it.
Well,
because
stop
it's fair.
saying Turinabol or TRT like they're interchangeable. Totally different things, AJ.
I know, but still.
No, you don't know.
One
you
of the
don't
two.
know because you're saying either or, whatever.
AJ,
Fred,
look,
correct him.
Either
AJ,
or, you'll have an edge.
AJ, you know what's the commission's role?
What?
It's their job to test. It's not like a random thing.
No,
like,
absolutely.
It's
but
whoever oversees the fighting event.
But
they're in charge of testing. So
absolutely. But what I'm saying is that if in Bellator there's certain things that are allowed.
If Bellator goes to New York or goes to Boston, they gotta abide by the rules of that state.
Right.
Now the question is, they're going on these reserves where maybe the rules are a little more lax.
Little shakier.
Well, there you go. So I guess I am right. That's what I'm saying.
No,
is
but not all their events are there. That's like one event here and there. They're going.
It's
like,
okay, guys.
Can we put that on a T-shirt? AJ's face. I guess I am right.
I am right, man.
I guess I am right.
I think it would sell. Like he might make us rich with that.
So let's do it.
That's what I'm saying.
But we all get a commission, even though it's your face.
Yeah, we all get a cut, and I get a bigger cut because I'm making the T-shirts, and I'm probably paying for the shirts,
So
even though
it,
it's
Dave.
your face on them.
We should have like hashtags for everything.
Well, we're getting shirts. Shirts are coming. Okay, yeah. Shirts are coming.
We're big, man.
Third camera just showed up today for the YouTube studios.
Wow.
The third camera. So we have a 3-camera setup now. The computer's coming in next week.
But you need a backdrop. That's what I keep saying.
The next UFC post show is going to be on fire.
235.
235. Fred's going to be there. Fred, I know you checked in on AJ and I. We were on YouTube this past Saturday night on youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, the YouTube channel. Go to ringsidereport.net for more info. AJ, we were live during the fights watching Anderson Silva and Israel Adesanya and the rest of the action at UFC 234. It was kind of like a Joe Rogan-style fight companion. It was a good time, AJ.
Oh, we had a good time. It was fun. I mean, a lot of people were like really interactive with us. It was like
it was like nuts. A party with the Ringside Report universe. It was like...
I'm not sure we could do that, though, with the poker game next time.
Why not?
I think it might be illegal.
Yeah, it might be illegal, and it might be hard. I mean, because...
How's it going to be illegal?
Well, I'm not sure about the legal aspect, but
Are you
hard.
allowed to gamble on YouTube?
Well, we're not gambling. We're playing for
plastic chips, man. Plastic chips.
Monopoly money.
I wanted to take you guys' money again, though.
It's pokerstars.net, not .com.
Okay.
They should be supporting us.
I don't understand that differential, but that's okay. So we're going to do a show for the UFC 235, the next John Jones fight when he fights Anthony Smith. That'll be at the beginning of March. We'll be on YouTube, all three of us, whether it'll be after the fights or maybe during the Jones fight. You know, the poker game will be over by then. But that's what we did this past weekend for Anderson and Israel Adesanya. Anderson losing the fight to Adesanya was a 3-round fight. I wasn't overly impressed by Adesanya, I thought, he looked all right, but he didn't look amazing. He didn't finish Anderson Silva. Chris Weidman's been on Twitter this week saying he's not impressed by
guy that's
Adesanya.
1-4 in his last 5 fights.
Yeah, well, Weidman looked better against Anderson when Anderson was in his prime. That's kind of the statement he's making.
I think he might be a lot of rules changed since there, where IVs were legal, things like that. So Chris Weidman, I don't know.
I think he might be angling for a fight with Adesanya, which I'm not against. That's a fight I want to see. That's a real tough test for Adesanya. Weidman is a very good grappler, both jiu-jitsu and wrestling. He could give Adesanya some real problems. He takes him down. I don't think Adesanya's getting back up.
I'm not sure. I mean,
it's gonna be it'll be a problem, man. That's a good fight.
I'll
for
tell
Adesanya.
you what. I'm believing in the Israel Adesanya hype now, and you guys are gonna laugh at me, but I'll tell you what made me believe the hype is the intro where that guy, when Bruce Buffer announced him, did this crazy move where he showed like he's quite an athlete. He did a one-hand headstand, and then he flipped.
Move.
Yeah, it looked like a street fighter thing there.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is a prime athlete. This guy is legit. This guy has skills. Now, yes, we don't know about his grappling, but I don't think Chris Weidman's the guy that's going to expose his grappling. I believe in Adesanya. Adesanya's an athlete. He
might not be, but he will definitely test the grappling, and that's what I want to see.
Like, I would be scared if it's Jacare or somebody.
Sure. I'm not saying Adesanya can't beat Chris Weidman. I'm not saying he can't defend the takedown. I'm saying that if Weidman does get the takedown, Adesanya would be in a world of trouble. I think Adesanya knows
might be able to get up.
He knows to avoid the takedown. He might be able to get up. I don't know how many times. It's going to wear on you. But it's an interesting fight. And I want to see Adesanya challenged from the upper level of middleweights before we crown him the new king. We still have Robert Whittaker, who's the champion. Apparently him and Gastelum are going to maybe fight in the summertime. Now they're targeting. Whittaker had a hernia. He had to be operated on the night before the fight, so the day of the fight with Gastelum, the main event, got canceled, which was a real bummer for UFC 234.
It was tough because I was a little bit harsh on Robert. That's for sure. Like
you were super harsh on him,
but
for
we didn't know.
reason. The guy had a serious medical emergency.
My bigger question
is, we did know, AJ, and you were harsh on him
while
we were watching the fight, and I called you on it then, and I'll call you on it again.
No. But listen, you're right, but
yes,
sort of right.
I'm right, and you're. If I'm right,
look, I'm going to apologize to Whittaker because
that would make you wrong. That would make you wrong, right?
My question is still, can this appear like overnight? Didn't they know a little bit earlier or something? Like, honestly, I thought it was a little last second. If anything, I'll be critical of the UFC because, I mean, don't these guys have to pass some type of medical during the week or something? How is this known at the last second? That was my question.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but neither are you guys. And we don't know how these things
I'm not blaming
up.
Whittaker at all. He's sick. He's legitimately sick. Like, I'm not, like, he has an issue. I don't want him to, he could die from what I read.
That's
fighting like that.
Yeah, but he knew about it for a year. That's the difference. Apparently, he's known it. He's known that he's had a hernia. Well, he's for a year. So Chael Sonnen said it best. He says, listen, this guy's known for a year. Why did he wait till the end? And to be honest, I agree with Fred. That's why I'm agreeing and not agreeing with you, Dave.
Way
because how did
he
the night
wanted
before
it to go down like this? There's no way.
No,
he's
I'm sure he didn't.
Athlete. He's a world champion. You think he wants to go through a training camp, have a pay-per-view surrounded by his home country? This whole pay-per-view was about him. He's in Australia. He's defending his title. He did all the work. He cut weight. He's ready. You think he wanted this to happen this way where he had to have hernia surgery the day before the fight and everything doesn't happen and he's super disappointed and so is, the UFC and his friends and his family? Are you kidding me?
No, you're right.
About?
No, you're right. It's
what
just
kind of
it's
nonsense
just a weird
conspiracy are you spinning here, AJ?
No, man. What I'm not saying anything about a conspiracy, but what I'm saying is that
you have the documents to prove it.
Listen,
this is the AJ backpedal we're seeing right now.
It's not backpedaling, man. The guy knew for a year, man. Why don't you take care of this back like in April or May?
He didn't know.
He had the hernia. That's a given. Chael Sonnen said it best.
Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor.
Chael Sonnen's not a doctor either, and he didn't know. He doesn't know what Whittaker knows.
Look, Robert did.
Maybe it started hurting only like in the last couple of days before. Look, there's all type of possibilities. I'll go back to what Dave says, though. This summer, I'm not sure, because from what I'm reading, he's off for 4 to 6 months. Which
What?
which would mean that he cannot do a like from what I read, he's not doing a training camp, starting a training camp for a good 4 months.
So we're not going to see him until November, December, maybe into 2020.
Interim title.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Here we go.
But you know what?
Well,
look.
How does it happen, though? Who do you put up against Kelvin Gastelum? Gastelum gets a shot. He was supposed to fight Whitaker. So Gastelum's in there against who? Adesanya?
That's what they're calling for, but we'll see. We'll see how he does. Yeah.
I don't know.
Israel is asking for that fight. He knows he could beat Gastelum. And you know what? I'm happy that fight didn't happen.
I guess
really,
there's nobody else in the middleweight division to really challenge at this point, right? Where's Yoel? Where's Yoel Romero?
Yeah, you're right.
He's fighting Paulo Costa, isn't he?
Ooh,
yeah, exactly. So that's a legit.
That's coming up. 237, I think, right?
It's not that far away. I don't have it in front of me. But Yoel Romero, Paulo Costa, I mean, Kevin Gastelum's in the discussion. Jacare's probably in the discussion. Robert Whitaker, like, he's injured, but he still has to be considered as a champion. So there's a lot of guys. Chris Weidman, if Weidman were to defeat Adesanya, he puts his name right back up there. So
April 27th, Yoel Romero and Paulo Costa on ESPN. That's
going to be a good fight. Yeah.
If Paulo Costa can get through Yoel Romero, people are going to be like, who's Israel Adesanya? This Paulo Costa's the next UFC middleweight champion, you know?
Everybody taking supplements should buy some right now because they might ran out of supplements by the time these two fight.
Yeah, Yoel Romero and Paulo Costa are taking all the supplements. Those guys are bodied up.
But Fred,
super jacked. Not Crow Cop jacked, but still pretty jacked.
He's pretty jacked, but Fred, you've been saying him for a while. Not like Crow Cop. I haven't seen it, but you know what?
You should take a look. It's crazy. Well, you'll watch the fight tomorrow night, and there'll be a serious difference between Roy Nelson's physique and his opponent Crow Cop's physique. I'll tell you that much.
Roy Nelson, who was always complaining in the UFC about all that, like saying, hinting that some people were using substances, and
Crow Cop is back too. Tomorrow night he's going to smash Roy Nelson. Like, he's going to knock him out in the first round, guys. Mark my words. Crow Cop, the way he's looking,
Cop Fedor might happen in
the future.
The rematch.
Oh yeah, that could be interesting.
Bring it on. I'm into that. Give me that.
I mean,
give me that, Bellator.
Or how about like another fight with Gonzaga? Maybe just because I think that was the beginning of the end.
Still fight?
He's training a lot in BJJ.
Show him
that's
enough
for sure.
Money.
Yeah,
he'll be there.
In Bellator for sure.
I don't know.
If he could take TRT.
Gonzaga's last fight was in May 2018. He lost to Fedor's brother Alexander in Russia.
Yeah, but he's huge, Alexander.
That's not good.
Yeah, but you're fighting Alexander. He's a beast.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a bad loss.
He's some kind of beast. I don't know. Oh boy. So we had, Adesanya with the nice win over Anderson. Anderson wanted to fight Nick Diaz. He said, I think Nick Diaz is a good fight for me. That's the fight I want.
Yeah, that could be good.
Which was kind of odd, but, they do have some sort of unfinished business. They had that fight in 2015, and it was a weird one, and Anderson won a decision, but then it was changed into a no contest when Anderson failed a drug test. So Anderson wanted to run it back, and he wanted to do it in Brazil. I thought, cool. Then Nick Diaz went on Instagram, and he's like, nah.
Shut it down.
I'm just trying to party. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
That's a direct quote. I'm just trying to party. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah, well, maybe.
So Nick Diaz is partying. He's not fighting. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. He doesn't want to fight Anderson Silva. He doesn't want to fight George St-Pierre. He doesn't want to fight George Masvidal. He doesn't want to fight George W. Bush. He doesn't want to fight anybody named George or anybody. He's not into it. He's not into hurting anybody. He just wants to party. Looks like in Vegas. Looks like with a lot of alcohol. If you check Nick Diaz's Instagram story, you'll see him partying with alcohol, probably in Vegas or somewhere. And I'm saying this not having checked Nick Diaz's Instagram story today. And if you know how Instagram stories work, they only stay there for 24 hours. So I'm saying this now, that if you check Nick's Instagram, you'll see him with liquor partying.
Dude, he's high
I don't
as a
know
kite,
that
this
this is
guy.
a fact. The only way that I'm telling you this, and the only way I know that this is true, is because every single day his Instagram story is him drinking and partying. This guy is partying every day. So, I don't know when he's doing jiu-jitsu.
So
I
anybody
know
believes
he's doing it.
He's in
he
shape?
must be. I don't know if he's in shape. I don't know what kind
he's
of shape
not in
he's
prime
doing.
athlete shape.
Once in a while, you see him in a
Well,
gi.
he used to be.
Like on his Instagram story, he's in a gi. He's at the gym, like he's doing jiu-jitsu, but that's the only training you really see him doing. And the rest of the time, it's just him showing bottles of liquor to you on his Instagram story.
I mean, this guy,
Every
him and his
day.
brother were both triathletes, man. These guys had like the insane amount of cardio. They were triathletes, so I don't understand how they went from that to like being spokespersons for like Doritos. Like these guys are high as kites all
They're
the
not
time.
spokespeople for Doritos.
I know, but they should be, to be honest,
What?
man. Freaking high as kites. But
AJ,
I want to ask you
they're
one.
drinking alcohol. That's
what you
AJ
see.
going with stereotypes.
Yeah. I mean, just terrible.
Doritos,
terrible.
man. But
Because
listen,
they smoke weed, is that what you're saying?
yeah, man, they're smoking.
I don't like Doritos.
What?
I don't really
Doritos
like Doritos.
are so good.
I do
man.
I like Doritos.
Yeah, we love Doritos,
They're
Fred.
I got
pretty
more
good.
of a sweet tooth, Krispy
but
Kreme.
I'd love to be sponsored by Doritos.
Okay.
Ringside Report, Doritos.
What's your point about Nick Diaz?
So what I'm trying to say is that this guy was such a high athlete. There's something not right.
A high-level athlete.
High-level athlete. Yeah, he's a high athlete.
Also a high athlete,
yeah,
too. Yeah.
Yeah, good one.
I'll tell you what's wrong with Nick Diaz.
He's
nothing. No, nothing is wrong. He made a lot of money, and he has different priorities.
What's the priorities?
Well, having fun, living life. I mean,
Sure.
there's other stuff than getting into a fight. Like, there's other stuff to do than fighting in your lifetime.
There's other things to do than training, wearing on your body, hurting yourself, preparing for a fight, the mental anxiety.
Like, we train, it's fun, because
Right.
we do it for fun.
Yeah.
But when you're at a level of it,
Sure.
Nick Diaz or George St-Pierre, at some point, it's not fun no more.
Yeah.
You need to take a break.
You made enough money, you can retire and party, and that's what Nick is doing. He's got no children, he's got no wife, he's a single man, he's having a good time.
That's awesome, man. But George is very different. You're talking about George. George is still going to make money in his 50s and 60s because he's George St-Pierre, and everybody's going to want to. He's a good. He
has possibilities in front of him.
But Diaz,
George
we're
George St-Pierre is a different type of businessman than Nick
Right.
Diaz. No one's disputing
Bro,
that.
but what I'm going to say is this: is that what happens when all that money goes and Diaz has to start fighting? We're going to start
so
seeing.
he'll fight again.
What, at 42, 43 years
Yeah,
old?
he'll fight in Bellator against other 43-year-olds,
Look,
and he'll make tons of money.
Man,
He'll
now-
make one rematch against anybody. He'll make like $5 million, and he's set for another, 10, 15
How old
years.
is he now?
Yeah.
How old is he? He's 30, what, 35?
I don't know.
How old is Diaz? Come on, man.
It's
Hey,
like the
Siri.
fourth time I want to tell
How
AJ just
old is
Google
Nick
it, but
Diaz?
I don't
he doesn't
have-
have a computer.
Hold on.
Nick Diaz from which team? San Jose State.
What? What the hell?
What
Siri
sport?
doesn't know
What
MMA.
sport?
Come on, Siri. What's up with this?
Man, that's the first time Siri's led me astray on that. Nick Diaz is 35.
Was I right?
He'll be 36 in August.
So he still has time to have at least 3-4 big money
That's
fights.
what I'm trying to tell you, when he's at his best
But
of
I
his
mean-
life.
I
Not
mean-
when he's at the tail end of it or when he has to come in
No,
because he
no,
needs
no,
money and he
no.
looks like
Well-
some kind of jabroni. Come on, man. It's
Well,
Diaz.
look, man, my bank account's pretty good. I rather, live a good life and not work 80 hours a week. If I ever go broke, well, I'll go.
Hey, man, how come his bank account's bigger than mine?
Nick Diaz fought George St-Pierre and Anderson Silva back-to-back. And he has not fought in 2015 because of that. He made millions of dollars over two
For
fights.
each fight.
For each fight, millions of dollars. And then he realized, I don't have to do this anymore.
I think his net worth was around $3 million. That's
also,
for sure.
his name is worth something. Like, he invested in this rolling paper company. Didn't the Diaz brothers have their
Maybe.
Like, you'd be surprised, man. Putting your name to stuff will generate money.
Also, not to mention, he's a high-level mixed martial artist. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. He's a Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and he could do seminars until he's old and gray.
For several thousand
Not
dollars
if he's
a
always
day.
high and he's not around.
He can do.
You got to show up to those seminars.
Seminars during the day, club appearances at night. That's how these guys are making their supplemental
Come
income.
to Montreal, man. I want to do a seminar. I'll go clubbing with you, Nick.
Yes, and you know what? Every city in America, in North
First
America,
drinks on me.
Any city that knows anything about the UFC would welcome Nick Diaz.
For sure,
and
man.
I would welcome him to Montreal.
I would go to a seminar like
Fred and
right
I
now.
Sleep over at my place.
Fred and I would take him to the SQDC. We'd have a great time with the Diaz
And then we would
brothers.
bring him on on our show, man. It would be awesome.
Yeah, except he would not show up for the show.
Well, there
you
you
might
go.
scare him. You might
Why
scare him.
would I scare him, man?
Because you're a little intense, man. Imagine Nick Diaz high with AJ around him.
God.
Oh, my God. It might
Bro,
finish
I
with
would-
AJ being choked out.
Listen, man,
you
I would take him
scared
around the city, man. He'd have a blast like I did with the rest.
I
Ask
think he
Wally
might
what I
choke
did.
you out, and Nate just looks at me, and I'm like, okay. I'm just like, okay, AJ,
I think
I'm
you
sorry.
might get us beat up by the Diaz brothers.
No way, man. If I took him
No,
around,
I'm not getting involved.
Listen, ask Wally from Ireland. I was his tour guide, man, and let me tell you, he had a blast, man.
I'll tell you what, AJ.
I want to take Diaz on the town.
I'm not like Fred, okay? In this hypothetical situation that will never happen,
Right.
If Nick Diaz is attacking you, I'm jumping in and I'm trying to help you, AJ.
Whoa,
okay?
Fred,
I know
do you
Fred,
hear that?
Fred is scared, but I will help Nick Diaz, or I will help you beat up Nick Diaz, or,
Oh, man.
or spare your life and maybe get myself beat up. I will do that because I'm a good friend to you in this strictly hypothetical situation that'll probably never happen.
Strictly
I'm
hypothetical.
finding an app where I could buy a 209 area code telephone number. Just to
Man,
prove I'm
you know what?
just-
That's love, buddy. I love it. I
Just
love
to
it.
scare us.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, AJ.
Hey, times two. Fred, where's the love, man? Did you hear that?
That's where you come for love. Ringside Report Radio.
That's right, man. You know what? All you have to do is give him like a bag of weed, and then everything will be okay. We're all good.
So
but
Cain Velasquez is fighting on Sunday. There's a UFC show this weekend.
Whoa,
but
it's gonna be awesome.
Sunday, and that makes me very mad. And I
Why?
will tell you why. I'll tell you, AJ. I know you want to know.
what do you do on a Sunday?
But I'm very upset that this Francis Ngannou Cain Velasquez fight. I'm Jewish. That this fight is on a Sunday, and I will tell you why when we come back. It is Ringside Report Radio. Stay with us.
Hey, this is Cain Velasquez, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio.
Hi, this is Anders Borowski, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio.
This is Tyrone Woodley, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio.
All right, welcome back. It is Ringside Report Radio. I'm Dave Simon. Fred Garcia is here. AJ D'Alesio is here. Here on TSN 690 every Friday night, talking mixed martial arts. We'll be on a bit late next week. We'll be on at 10-ish after the Laval Rocket game. And then the week after, we're going to be on at midnight. We're on at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock start time tonight. That's our normal start time, but bounced around because of sports events, mostly hockey matches on this radio station.
It is what it is.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Complain?
You could.
I could, but who would
Put
listen?
in the comment card.
Who would listen?
No one. It goes.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure we're going to win that one.
Yeah, hockey in Montreal, I don't think we're going to win that battle. That's okay, because we're here anyways. No matter what, we're here at 10, we're here at midnight. Doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah,
to
but
us.
the difference is that the UFC is around the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
We're all good.
The Canadians are
Yeah,
here,
it's-
man. I love the Habs, but
I'll tell you what.
No. You love the Habs. Leave it at that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Dave's studio, it's probably getting better than this studio. Because, I mean, right now, this equipment...
Let's just say the home studio is looking pretty fresh. Let's not put anybody down, but let's just say what we've got going.
This equipment is awful.
All right.
Is it because I dropped coffee on everything just now?
AJ, what are you doing?
Well, that might not help. That might not help.
Oh, Fred, you're having equipment problems? Your
I
headphones
don't know.
are
Yeah,
cracking up?
the headphones are an
Fred's
issue.
been having problems all day, but all show anyways.
The good thing is my phone is all right now.
That's good, AJ. So we've got some UFC to talk about here, guys. We've got, what do we got? Cain Velasquez and Francis Ngannou on
Very good card.
Sunday night. It's pretty excellent. UFC is going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. You've got Cain and Ngannou in the main event. James Vick and Paul Felder in the co-main event. Courtney Casey and Cynthia Calvillo. Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres taking on Kron Gracie.
I'm hyped for that.
Who, Fred, AJ didn't know who Kron Gracie's father was.
Oh. Come on, AJ.
AJ,
You know what I said to Dave? I said there's so many Gracies. It's impossible, man.
Do you
There's
remember?
so many.
Do you remember whose son he is? Remember I told you? But AJ doesn't retain any information. He doesn't really listen to me when I talk to him.
He's the son of probably the...
Don't tell him. Who's Kron's father, AJ? We talked about it on Sunday.
Dart.
What's his...
Dart.
Gracie. No, seriously, you forget?
I forgot. Who was it again?
Hickson.
Oh, yeah, Hickson. It's true. Hickson. Best fighter ever.
Yeah, best.
I know about Hickson and the rest.
Best jiu-jitsu guy ever. You know about Hickson and the rest, except that when I tell you that Kron Gracie, his son, is making his UFC debut, we talked about him last Saturday, And I told you, I made a big deal about how Rickson is his father. We talked about the documentary Choke that's on YouTube. Remember the documentary that you haven't seen?
I remember what I told you.
Have you seen it yet? You didn't watch it?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I do want to see that.
It's just odd to me that you're such a big jiu-jitsu guy and you're so into MMA, and you don't know that Kron Gracie is Rickson's son.
But you know what? He did, like I told you last week.
Rickson is regarded as the greatest jiu-jitsu guy of
I
all time.
I got to call Glenn there because, like I said, Kron was there at our Fight for Charity. He was actually one of the Gracies that came.
It's Kron.
Yeah, Kron. Well, Kron.
No.
But those are not the same two people.
Those are different people.
Those are two different people.
You're confused.
Well, what is either Kron or Kron? One of those guys
it's
were
like
at
saying, it's either Renzo.
Let's call
Hoist. Renzo or Hoist or Rickson. I don't know. It's one of them. There's three different guys with three different
legacies.
Best
ever, man. Hoist. But who cares?
Wait. Hoist best ever or Rickson?
Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what.
Rickson, but
yes,
according to you, they're interchangeable.
Yeah, but they
Rickson, Renzo, Hoist, Turinabol, TRT, testosterone.
Hoist Gracie is the guy
T-bag,
that made what the UFC is today. If it wasn't for, they were all a factor, the Gracies. But Hoist.
Rickson is the one that was supposed to compete.
Yes,
he
was.
Injury.
Yes, due to injury. But look who came in. Hoist came in. He was the least of all the Gracies, and he came in and dominated everybody for many years.
Rickson was the champion of the family and regarded as
But in the
greatest.
end, Hoist is the guy who made what UFC is today. So we got to give it to Hoist. He's the legend, man.
Well,
he fought everybody.
I think we can give respect to both of them, AJ. I think
absolutely,
that's
man. Listen, man. There's no doubt about that. But you got to separate between guys like Hoist that actually won many times on tournaments that were like.
So did Rickson.
He did, but Hoist Gracie won 1, 2, 3, lost number 4. Well, he didn't lose because of the eye injury.
AJ's just like going around the subject, so
is just not aware of Rickson Gracie's Vale Tudo
Bro, of
background.
Course, yes, I do, man. But I'm talking about current UFC.
No, he's just trying. He's just trying to change the subject so that people forget that he didn't know who Kron was.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, there's a lot of reasons to be hyped for
him.
this. Kron is a great jiu-jitsu. Like, you love jiu-jitsu, you should want to see this fight.
Oh, no, I definitely will.
Son of a great. Also, he trains. I think Nate Diaz is going to be in his corner for this fight. So he trains with the Diaz's. There's a lot of reasons to be.
And is this his first UFC fight? Right.
This is his MMA or his
4-0 in MMA.
Yeah, his UFC debut.
Yep. Well, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And he's fighting Alex Caceres, which is a very interesting fighter. He was my hype. Caceres. Well, whatever, you guys. Tomato. I always tell you that every week. But the thing is that
you always mispronounce every fighter's
maybe
name.
I'm right. Remember what Wally said one time?
No, but you're not right.
Yeah, but Wally said one time that I was right.
Just because one guy says you're right about one thing doesn't mean you're right about everything.
Hey, man.
And you aren't.
Yeah, but he was like the judge, so far I'm like 1-0 with you guys. You need to find someone who's going to be like, I agree with
You're
Fred
like
and Dave.
1 in a million with us, okay?
All right.
So Kron Gracie and Alex Caceres, very fun. Kron brings that great jiu-jitsu, of course. And Caceres, he's a good kickboxer, man. He's got some good skills on his feet, flashy stuff.
His jiu-jitsu's not that bad also.
His jiu-jitsu's not bad either, but it's not Kron Gracie. So if it goes to the ground, I think Kron's going to take it. I think Kron takes it. I think he does take it to the ground and he submits him.
But if he does, he's beating a guy that was like a big hype behind him. Like Alex was like coming into the UFC, everybody was like, oh, this guy's like the Bruce Lee kind of athlete, and he was
just a nickname.
I think it was a gimmick mostly, but he's a fun fighter.
He's a fun fighter.
If you beat Alex Caceres,
it's legit.
You've earned your spot in the UFC.
Exactly. There you go.
How about this fight? Maybe going under the radar before we get to Kanan and Ngannou and what we think there. This is on the early prelims. It'll be Hanan Barao, former bantamweight champion, taking on Luke Sanders. Now, if you don't know Luke Sanders, he is the boyfriend, and I think current boyfriend, I think they're still together, of the man, Becky Lynch, from the WWE.
Wow.
So this is Becky Lynch's boyfriend, Luke Sanders. And that's why I know him. That's why I'm excited about his fight, because when he fights, they usually show Becky Lynch in the crowd. Last time he fought, Becky Lynch was there with Dolph Ziggler, and I was like, oh, Becky and Dolph Ziggler are there. Look at this. It's pro wrestling, brother. Which brings me to why I'm so pissed off about this card being on Sunday. I want to watch Cain Velasquez and Francis Ngannou very much. I want to watch Kron Gracie. I want to watch this card. But I also want to watch the Elimination Chamber. I want to see Daniel Bryan defend the WWE Championship in the Chamber against AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Kofi Kingston, Jeff Hardy, and even Randy Orton. I want to see this match. I want to see Ronda Rousey against Ruby Riott. I want to see the Elimination Chamber, and it's on Sunday. How dare the UFC and ESPN run a show opposite the second-to-last pay-per-view before WrestleMania? It goes Chamber, Fastlane, Mania. This is the February show. Fastlane's in March. Mania's in April. This is a big show. It's the Elimination Chamber. What are you doing to me, Dana? Very rarely does the UFC go against anything big like this. And the fact that they're going on a Sunday night, which is weird. Why aren't they going on a Saturday? Why don't they oppose Bellator? Why is it Bellator's night on Saturday? The UFC should be having these fights tomorrow. Why are they doing it on Sunday and confusing me? What am I supposed to watch? Am I supposed to watch Kane, Velasquez, or Kane the wrestler? Even though Kane won't actually be there.
What time is it at?
The Chamber starts at like 7. And I guess I don't know when this ESPN card will be, but maybe it'll be like
main card is at 9.
It's at 9, exactly.
That's not good. It's a 6-fight main card. That means it's a 3-hour card, 9 till midnight. The Chamber will end around 11, so I guess between 11 and 12 I could be watching the UFC, but I'm going to be doing a post show for the Chamber on YouTube at youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. So I can't even watch the UFC.
So put a split screen.
I have picture-in-picture. I could watch one on the laptop, one on the thing, but, man.
You know what?
Yeah, I'm not happy about it.
I'm going to tell you what.
It's too much. It's too much going on, man.
Whoa, easy, Dave.
Why is the UFC
You know what's on ESPN on Saturday?
What?
College basketball.
What the
I mean,
hell
we're
is
not
that?
beating college basketball. College basketball is not in a great place right now. This is regular season. It's not even like their big tournament.
It's not even March Madness.
Yeah, exactly. So for the UFC to not be able to be on TV because they got ESPN has college basketball on ESPN 1, ESPN 2, and a bunch of other platforms, ESPN Plus. Like, they got a bunch of games going on the Saturday at 8,
is
10.
that why the UFC's on a Sunday?
I would guess so, because that's what ESPN is showing right now on Saturday. So I don't see.
Yeah, but
is this going to be what the ESPN deal with the UFC is? Like, if there's college basketball on Saturday, sorry, UFC.
I don't
For
think
right
so.
now, it seems to be the only Sunday card. Like, out of all the events that are announced, there's no other ones that are on the Sunday right now.
You know what, Dave? Yeah, it's all the beginning stages of ESPN too. So there's going to be a lot of trial and error. And I think this is one of their errors. But anyways, we'll see.
I'm not happy about it.
I'm not happy about it either. But
I'll make you madder, I think.
What?
Because look, to me, it's going to be simpler to watch the ESPN UFC fight card live and watch the Elimination Chamber the next day.
He's got a point.
On delay.
No.
He's got a point.
Yeah,
He's got
I'm
a
just
point.
going to stay away from social media and.
Oh, I disagree. Plus, for me, I can't stay away from social media because it's the Chamber. So people are expecting me to be there.
You're a popular guy, man.
And, people, they expect me to be there during WWE pay-per-views so that I could talk to them and they could talk to me. And then we have the YouTube show right after the Chamber. So I have no choice. I have to watch the Chamber. The only question in my mind is, do I watch the UFC at the same time? Or do I just record the UFC and watch it the next day?
It's not the same, man.
It isn't the same, and plus I'll be on Twitter anyway, so I'll see the results from the UFC, so I might as well watch both. But
and I'll be texting you, so forget about that.
I'll tell you this much. I'll be paying way more attention to the UFC than the Chamber. I mean, depends on what they're doing in the WWE, but
But it's Kane coming back, Velasquez.
Yeah, that's
you want to see that.
That's the fight I want to see.
Right. So, I mean...
And maybe it's probably going to last a round.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go I don't think it's
either
going to go 3 rounds.
Ngannou knocks out Kane or Kane brings him to the ground and finishes him with ground and pound.
Look, this is Kane Velasquez, probably the best heavyweight ever. The only thing that I see is ring rust. We always talk about ring rust. George came back. We always said ring rust, but he was actually better than when he left.
So you just said Kane's arguably the greatest heavyweight ever? That's what you said? Don't you say the same thing for Fedor?
I do, but he never made it to the UFC. But the
Cain
thing
Velasquez is 36 years old, has not fought since
2016.
2016.
Yep.
It's been like 2.5 years. It was July of 2016
But he was injured
when he beat Travis Brown. He's been hurt. He's been hurt a lot in his career. Cain Velasquez, that's the real knock against him, is that he just didn't fight enough in his prime. People think he's the greatest heavyweight of all time, and skill-wise, what he's able to do, if you put Cain against any of the other guys that are in the conversation, Cain versus Fedor, Cain versus Stipe, Cain versus even DC, all those guys in their prime, I think I'm picking Cain over those guys. You could make a strong argument that Cain would win all of those fights.
But in a way...
However, he just never fought enough when he was in his prime to really make that case. He became champion by beating Brock Lesnar in 2010. Got knocked out in 2011 by JDS to lose the title. Came back in 2012 and fought twice. Beat Antonio Silva, took the title back from Dos Santos. Didn't fight again until 2013. Beat Antonio Silva, beat Junior Dos Santos. That was a big problem. He fought, the same guys. Like from 2011 to 2013, or even 2015, Cain Velasquez fought two guys, Antonio Silva and Junior Dos Santos, in 5 different fights. Okay, that hurt his legacy. And then he fought Fabricio Verdum after 2 years off. From 2013 to 2015, Cain was hurt, came back, defended the title, lost to Verdum, got beat up, lost in the 3rd round, looked not very good, and then didn't fight again for another year, fought Travis Brown, beat him, and now we haven't seen him for nearly 3 years. So if you look at the history of Cain Velasquez, from the time he won the title 9 years ago against Brock Lesnar, he has fought 8 times in 9 years. That is nowhere near enough. 8 times in 9 years?
Yeah.
And that's why we don't see Cain as the guy. That's why he's not given the respect, because he just has been too hurt, too inactive. He's probably the best, but he was never in the octagon enough to prove it. I think he beats Francis Ngannou, though, because he's still Cain Velasquez. He's proven that he could be away for 2 years, come back, still be that same guy. And Ngannou has proven that he struggles against the takedown. Stipe showed that. Ngannou did look good, though, against Curtis Blades in his last fight. Knocked him out in 45 seconds. Looked like the Ngannou of old after that bad fight against Derek Lewis. I think the Stipe fight kind of shell-shocked him. He went back in there, fought Lewis a few months later, looked bad, lost again. But then he seemed to have picked up the pieces when he fought Curtis Blades, who's very good, beat him in November. And Ngannou's still dangerous, but I don't think he's got the wrestling ability yet to deal with Cain. He probably will never have the wrestling ability to deal with Cain. I think Cain takes him down, beats him up, softens him up. I think he finishes him in the second. I think he takes him down in the first and beats him up, and then in the second he takes him down again and finishes the job. I got Cain. Cain is the favorite, minus 155, not a heavy favorite, and Ngannou plus 135, the underdog.
You know what I was going to say, Fred? This is what I'm going to say, is that it was probably the best thing for Cain to be away from the fight for 3 years. The only reason that he's really coming back is because the offer from the UFC was really, really good. So maybe when you look at the financial side, 3 years ago or 4 years ago, he probably wouldn't be making the money he's going to be making tomorrow. That being said, is that he had his 3 years of rest, his mind, his body. He might be like so good tomorrow that he still has another 3, 4, 5 years left. And at least this way here, if he's going to have a lot of wear and tear on his body, at least there's going to be money to back that up. And that makes more sense for a fighter, at this stage in his career.
And what I said about Cain, how he's been inactive, how he's, not done enough to prove to be the best, that could change. Like, sure. if Cain fights tomorrow, looks good against Ngannou, and then all of a sudden he's fighting again in, say, November or December, that's twice in 2019. That's good. I'm good with that.
Well, if he beats Ngannou and, let's say, Stipe back-to-back,
there you go.
Two great wins.
That's impressive.
But he needs to do it. That's the thing.
But the thing is, he's good enough that he's able to beat these guys, win these fights, and then all of a sudden, a year from now, we could be saying, man, Cain Velasquez is not only the greatest heavyweight of all time, he's the greatest fighter of all time because he just beat John Jones. You know, like anything's possible. He could fight John Jones in 2020, beat him. You know, if he fights 4 times in the next 2 years, Cain could make a real statement for his legacy. 4 fights. If he could make that.
Has he ever did that, 4 fights in 2 years? That would be my question. Because it seems like he's always injured. Probably early in his career he managed to do it, but when has he ever averaged 2 fights a year?
2 fights a year he did in 2013, 2012. So from 2012 to 2013, he beat Bigfoot Silva in May of 2012, fought Dos Santos in December, beat him. May of 2013, fought Bigfoot again, and then October of 2013, fought Dos Santos again.
And that's his best stretch. I mean,
that's his best stretch, beating Antonio Silva and Junior Dos Santos twice each.
But I mean, look at John Jones, who's doing a turnaround right now on like 2-3 months. You know, like Cain's never done that.
No,
a lot of guys have done like quicker turnarounds. So.
Yeah, but if Cain can average like he did from 2012 to 2013, 2 fights over the next 2 years, 4 fights in the next 2 years total, I think,
it's the heavyweight division. So, yeah, he probably could stay there for a while.
Like, if DC, say, retires after his next fight, right, which people think he might do, well...
Yeah, but when's that next fight? Well, that's the thing.
Well, we don't know, but say DC fights, Brock Lesnar, John Jones, whoever, and then win, lost, whatever, he's not champion anymore. He goes away. That heavyweight championship's up for grabs. And if you're going to tell me Cain Velasquez isn't in the conversation...
Cain versus Stipe.
Especially if he beats Ngannou tomorrow... Cain-Stipe is that heavyweight title fight.
Yeah, exactly. Cain-Stipe. That would be only if DC wins a fight, let's say, this summer against John Jones or Brock Lesnar and decides to retire. But I think, like, as far, let's say, for Stipe also, that's probably the avenue that Stipe should look at because DC's not willing to give him a rematch right now. So maybe a fight against Cain would be that big fight for both of them. Cain versus Stipe is a very big fight. If it's for a title, it's even better. If not, well, if Stipe were to beat Cain, he could fight DC then.
And what happens? Yeah. So what happens if Cain beats Stipe?
Well, Cain and DC are never going to fight each other.
That's
they're best friends, and I have no issue with that. I'm not going to start like a Rory McDonald GSP story here.
And I think by that point,
you think Ryan Bader will come back?
No. Look, if Cain is fighting all these guys, and say Cain fights, again after this. I think DC will be retired by that point, so it won't matter. Like, if Cain becomes #1 contender, it'll be like, well, DC's not here anymore, so just give Cain the belt.
Like, win or lose, if DC defeats Brock or John Jones or loses, he might retire.
I think he's done.
Like, yeah, it might be his last fight, win or lose, no matter who's the opponent.
So I got Cain Velasquez tomorrow night. We all got, Sunday night. See, UFC should be on Saturdays. What are they doing to me?
What am I going to do tomorrow?
Well, you watch Bellator.
Oh, yeah, Bellator.
True.
Who do you have in these fights? Let's go. Michael Venom Page and Paul Daly. That's a hell of a fight. You like striking. You like flashy striking. Daly and MVP is good. I'm going to go with MVP. I think Daly hits harder, but MVP, his style is real fun to watch. If you haven't seen MVP, watch him tomorrow night. Fred, you going with MVP? I'm going MVP. Odds makers like him -220. AJ?
Yeah, MVP on my end.
How about Czech Congo and Vitaly Minikov? Congo, big underdog, +410. Minikov -550 in the favorite.
Congo.
Really?
Yeah, I like Congo. Interviewed him many times. He's a fun guy. Like, I'm a fan here.
Minikov is undefeated.
Yeah.
He's 21-0, former Bellator champion.
Who has he beat?
Big old Russian dude.
I have no clue, actually.
You don't really know, Fred. He's beat some guys. He beat Bigfoot Silva. He beat...
everybody defeated Bigfoot.
Alexander Volkov. He beat Czech Congo in April 2014.
Oh. What way?
Heavyweight.
No, I mean decision.
Decision.
Okay. Congo's back.
I'm going to go with Minikov on this. I'm going with Minikov on this one. For AJ?
I don't know. You know what? I can only say is that there was a big hype with Congo in the past, and I go with Fred too. He's just a bigger fighter, so I'm going to go with Congo just because I like him.
Okay, I'm going to go with the huge favorite, undefeated, and the guy that's beat Congo before, Vitaly Minikov. I think that's a safe bet, boys.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah. Mirko Krokop on everything, -220 plus Roy Nelson, +180 for Roy Nelson. Yeah. I think we're going to go.
Krokop.
I said it before. Krokop by KO and also by testosterone, Turinabol, tea bags, whatever you got, whatever, AJ's buying. So
I just saw, I'm seeing the card here. Eric Silva's now in Bellator.
Yeah. He's fighting Yaroslav Amosov.
They're getting really good, exciting fights.
I mean, Eric Silva's still young enough where, who knows, he puts a couple of wins in a row in Bellator, gets a couple of flashy finishes, which he's capable of. He could be that's a nice acquisition for Bellator.
How about this? Sergey Karatanov coming off a knockout win over Roy Nelson, taking on Matt Mitrione, and that is tonight, the main event for Bellator. Mitrione coming off that loss to Ryan Bader by decision when Bader just wrestled him to death. This is a fun fight.
It's a tough one to pick because I think Karatanov
Mitrione is a slight favorite, minus 115. I see a pick 'em, minus 115 on either side, so this could go either way.
It's a tough one to pick. Karatanov, I would say, is definitely the better fighter, skill-wise, but Mitrione, tougher. Karatanov, getting older, who knows? I'm going to go with Karatanov.
You know what's weird is that Karatanov, you feel like, is the older guy because he's been fighting forever, and Mitrione
more mileage.
Yeah, but Mitrione's 40, Karatanov's 38. I'm surprised by that, aren't you?
Me too.
I'm surprised that Karatanov's 38. I thought he was 48.
I'm surprised Mitrione's that old.
That old, yeah. But Karatanov has been fighting as a pro since 2000. He fought in Pride in 2003. Karatanov has been fighting forever. Mitrione, he's not been fighting for that long. He was on The Ultimate Fighter in 2009 when he made his debut.
He played some NFL also.
Yeah, exactly. Former football player.
Yeah, that's it, but I don't know. It's a tough fight to call tonight. I'm going to go with Mitrione. That's kind of a coin toss, though. I don't know. Who do you got, Fred? Karatanov? AJ?
I'm going to go with Mitrione.
All right, that's going down tonight. And then on Sunday, any other fights you're interested in here, guys, for the UFC?
James Vick against, who is he fighting against?
Paul Felder.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You hear Felder on commentary a lot,
And I like James Vick. He's a tall guy for the division. He's got some good striking. I'm going to go with James Vick.
And how about Andre Feely against Miles Jury? That'll be a good fight.
Touchy-feely.
That's a good fight, too.
Yeah.
It's a good card on Sunday.
Sure.
That's what makes me so mad that I have to be distracted from it watching the WWE.
And then you got Vincent Luque against Brian Barberina. That should be interesting. I mean,
I like Barberina. He's fun to watch.
And both of these guys have I think they have both wins against Sage Northcutt. So,
there you go.
Yeah, they have something in common.
They
destroyed Sage's career.
The Northcutt connection.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of miss this guy. I like to see him come back.
Well,
isn't
he going to 1FC or something?
I don't know.
Did he sign with them? He did. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to 1FC, so you can watch him there, AJ. It's okay. We're out of time. I'll be back here tomorrow night for Wrestling Uncensored, myself and Johnny North, after the Habs post-game show. I'm guessing there's a Habs game tomorrow, so we'll be on after the post-game show, previewing the Elimination Chamber, which goes down on Sunday. For more on that, go to our website, ringsidereport.net. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. That's youtube.com/ringsidereport, DOTNET. Go click subscribe. You can see Dave and Johnny live that happened today. That was a crazy show.
Ooh, I gotta watch
Johnny revealing some things that I wasn't comfortable with.
What?
Some very bizarre revelations from Johnny North today, live on our YouTube show that airs every Friday afternoon at 12:30 on youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. You got to hear what Johnny North said.
Wow.
Crazy stuff. A big weekend we got coming up. Not only will Johnny and I be on tomorrow night for Wrestling Uncensored, I'll be on the YouTube channel after the Elimination Chamber, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. And AJ, you and I, Sunday afternoon, where will we be?
We'll be bringing chairs and ladders and you name it to Johnny's big fight against Drew Onyx.
Johnny North will be defending his British Commonwealth Championship against Drew Onyx in a no disqualification match this Sunday afternoon. For more info on that, go to Johnny North's Twitter at NorthGenesis. AJ and I will be there. You can follow along on AJ's Twitter at Danny Brook. You can follow Fred at Freddie MMA, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dave Simon MMA. Follow at Ringside Report on Twitter and Instagram as well. For Fred and AJ, I'm Dave. Thanks for listening. This has been Ringside Report Radio.